So joining us on the news hour tonight, GVL Narasimha Rao, Sushil Pandit, Maruf Raza, Alimuddin Khan, Aga Said Ruhullah, Chief Spokesperson of the National Conference, Nizamuddin Bhatt, General Secretary of the PDP, and Bhim Singh, President of the Panthers Party. Ladies and gentlemen, the hashtag tonight is Halt Pelter Terror because the message from the Honorable Supreme Court is very, very clear. It's crystal clear. Because what they have come out and said is, for peace to return to Kashmir, students should first stop throwing stones at security forces on the streets and return to colleges and schools. That's what they have said. They've also said, the first step forward, the court insisted the Bar Association, the petitioner in the case, should persuade these stakeholders to file undertakings in the court that they will abstain from violence. Once these undertakings are filed, tentatively on the 9th of May, the court will ask the government to pull back security forces for at least 15 days, but as peace is negotiated. But they said, you cannot clap without both hands. If you keep throwing stones and close schools, how will talks work out? You first talk, but if you're suggesting secession, nothing will happen. Talks should be within the framework of the Constitution. Now, this is what the top court of the country has said today. And to our viewers tonight, and we start with the PDP, Nizamuddin Bhatt. Sir, the message is loud and clear.
Yes, go ahead.
The message is loud and clear. The engagement will happen with only those people who believe in the Constitution of India. Now, can you name those people in Jammu and Kashmir today, sir? Does Syed Ali Shah Gilani count in that?
If you are referring to observations made by Honorable Court, I will say that this is not merely a constitutional problem. This has all through been, Kashmir all through has been a political problem.
It is not, sir.
It
is no longer a political problem, with due respect, Mr. Bhatt. With due respect, Mr. Bhatt, it is no longer a political problem.
Let me complete what I say.
Yes, yes, sir.
Delhi Agreement in 1952, which was entered upon between New Delhi and then leadership Sheikh Muhammad Abdullah, that was not, the agreement did not emanate from Constitution. It was purely on political basis, out of political expediencies. As and when there have been dialogues, there have been certain extra constitutional considerations while dealing with the issue. So I will make a request from your forum that if you talk Kashmir, take into account the historical necessities, the sensitivities of the
taking into account,
as well as you can well compromise these balance between, there can be a balance between the national interest as well as
there can be no balance between national interest and those today who are asking for the formation of an Islamist state in Kashmir. Those people who are radicalized and who are pelting stones because they have a problem with Hindus, they have a problem with people, anybody who does not conform to Islam. Sir, those people don't believe in the idea of India. Those people have got nothing to do with Constitution, and Kashmir no longer is a political problem as you are trying to make it out to be, Mr. Bhatt. With due respect, I rest my case there, and if you continue to bat for them, sir, one wonders if the BJP should continue to shake hands with you in Jammu and Kashmir. That's my submission tonight at the top of this news hour debate, because what you said started in the 1950s. Perhaps we need to go back and correct that mistake. We need to go back and correct that mistake.
You see, there is a document of alliance which well encompasses everything.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that, Mr. Bhatt, because I want to talk about what's happening today. I don't want to talk about what happened 40 years ago. That's not the point anymore. Like Anand said, the narrative has changed, the situation has changed, and you also need to be aware of that. Now, this is what the court has said. Loud and clear, there are 4 messages as I interpreted, Mr. Bhatt. Please listen to me once and then you can respond on it. Let me present my question to you.
You cannot talk about present and jettison the past.
Of course not. You must learn from your mistakes in past. You must learn from your mistakes in past, but you cannot be in denial denial of what is happening today. You cannot be in denial of what is happening today, Mr. Bhatt. Respectfully, I will bring your attention back to the debate and the matter at hand.
You are trying to create
Please listen to me.
Problems. Don't do it.
Mr. Bhatt, can you hear me?
Don't do it.
Mr. Bhatt, can you hear me?
Can
you hear me? Can you hear me talking, sir? Can I make a question? Can I present a question to you? We heard you. We heard your point. Here is my question to you. Broadly, 4 messages that came out of that hearing today from the Chief Justice of India and then the other 2 respectable judges who were there. Message number 1, stop pelting stones. Message number 2, give an undertaking that you will abstain from violence. Message number 3, you first start talk. That's what the Bar Association of Jammu and Kashmir was told, that the people who are pelting stones right now need to stop that and then initiate talk. Message number 4, it all has to be in the framework of the Constitution. And message number 5, if you're going to talk about secession, then there cannot be any talks. Now, Mr. Khan, this question to you, and then we take it across to BJP. If there's going to be a talk of secession, then there cannot be any talk. Then who do you want to talk to, sir?
You see, talk to people of Jammu and Kashmir.
Who is people of Jammu and Kashmir? Are you going to go to individual houses and talk to them? Do you want to hold a referendum? Do you want to hold another state election? What do you mean talk to the people of Kashmir?
When I say talk to people of Jammu
and Kashmir have chosen an elected representative, which is you guys who are in power.
Why are you not ready? Why do we shy away?
People of Jammu and Kashmir have chosen the democratic process to choose their elected representatives who are already in power. Who else do you want to talk to? Tell me, please. Are you going to go to individual house in the valley?
There may be favorable voices. There may be voices of...
No, Mr. Nizamuddin.
Name them, please. Let's start naming them. People who don't believe in secession, people who are not going to talk about separation, separatists, people who don't have Pakistani interests or Pakistani backers.
That's how issues are addressed. That's how redressals are framed.
Mr. Nizamuddin Bhatt, sir,
responsible government.
Sir, it is you, it is your party, Mr. Nizamuddin Bhatt. Mr. Nizamuddin Bhatt, can you hear yourself, sir? You have been given the mandate by the people of Jammu and Kashmir to govern the people of Jammu and Kashmir, and today you are saying that you are not in control of the situation. You are indicting yourself here on the Newshour tonight, and that's exactly what the opposition wants you to do. Look at the position you are in, Mr. Bhim Singh.
If you can't, then please walk away.
Yes, Mr. Bhim Singh. Yes, Mr. Bhim Singh. Yes, Mr. Bhim Singh.
Nobody was, people did not give mandate to anybody.
Yes, Mr. Bhim Singh. Can we hear Mr. Bhim Singh, please?
I've heard this evening. I would like to make a small submission. Yes, sir. That neither Supreme Court of India can decide what needs to be done in Jammu and Kashmir politically, nor even the Assembly of Jammu and Kashmir. It is only the Parliament of India under Article 370 which has a mandate to decide and to give us a permanent shape. For 70 years, Article 370 is hanging on us a temporary provision. Why? As long as
So let's do away with Article 370. Let's just abrogate Article 370. Let's fully integrate what belongs to the idea of India, that is the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Let's do away. Let's try and make that amendment in Article 35. And try and make sure that this deal that was stuck in 1952, that's the root cause of all the problems, is done away with. GVL Narasimha Rao, sir, are you going to approach to that? Are you going to come there? Because sir, when they are not in power, they will have voices like Aga Ruhullah's Federal Party's chief, who will come out and say stone pelters are nationalists. If they get voted in today, tomorrow people like Mr. Nizamuddin Bhatt and his party will try and say stone pelters are a blessing, they are children of Kashmir, let's try and back them. This is what they will do. They will play this game of politics just to get back in power. GVL Narasimha Rao, are you getting the message loud and clear? Who you have shaken hands with and what's happened over the last 3 years in Jammu and Kashmir, Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao?
Message is very clear.
So, Anand,
Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part of India, and Jammu and Kashmir should be integrated fully with the rest of the country, as Maharaja Hari Singh had signed the instrument of accession. Approve it.
All right, Mr. Bhim Singh.
Quiet for a moment.
Not been
Right, Mr. Bhim Singh, GVL Narasimha Rao of the BJP speaking. Mr. Bhim Singh, sir, can you hear me, sir? GVL Narasimha Rao of the BJP, and then we'll go to our other panelists. Yes, GVL.
This problem.
No, Anand, we have an elected government in office.
I would like to make
More
a
than
submission.
75% of the people have
Mr. Singh, please wait. Mr. Singh, please wait.
I've heard you.
We have elected legislators, members of assembly. I think there is a political.
GVL Narasimha Rao, if you can be kind enough, sir,
And if there are
allow Mr. Bhim Singh to just complete his point. I don't think he can hear us clearly, so let's just hear him out.
Kashmir, with the rest of the country, there's no solution. As long as you don't extend Constitution of India from Kanyakumari to Kashmir.
Very well said. We agree with you, Mr. Bhim Singh. We agree with you, sir. And that's the pitch we are making, that the only solution to halt this pelter terror is to try and integrate completely. Let's just do away with all that separates us technically, politically between India and Jammu and Kashmir, sir. Let's abrogate this Article 370 and halt this pelter terrorism once and for all. Mr. Bhim Singh, sir, I don't think you can hear us right now. I'm going to go to our other panelists with due respect. So please wait. Yes, GVL Narasimha Rao.
Anand, we have an elected government in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. There was a hung verdict, and therefore for a government to be formed, I think the BJP had to tie up with a party like the PDP. This was not a natural alliance, and we have had a common agenda for governance, I think, which has been the guiding principle of our governance in the state. But when certain elements in the valley take law into their hands and they want to fight pitched battles with your security forces, including the police, Jammu and Kashmir police, I think it is the duty of every political party, well-meaning party, to really put
sir, law and order situation deteriorated in the valley in this month. What's happened? By-poll election witnessed heavy violence. Video of CRPF Jawan restraining himself seen by all. Election percentage dropped from 7.14 to 7.13. The number of cases of rioting that have gone, they are consistently on the rise. I had those numbers and it was shocking to me, GVL Narasimha Rao, what has happened. 3,400 cases of rioting, 267 cases of arson, 2,690 incidents of stone pelting. My point, GVL Narasimha Rao. Bhim Singh, please wait.
Article 370 and imposition of governor rule.
Correct. Sir, I think it is coming down to that because the BJP engaging with the PDP and the mainstream parties who themselves are involved in subversive activities. Mainstream subversion is what we are seeing today. When you have Farooq Abdullah coming out and calling stone pelters nationalists, coming out and saying, I am with you. When he comes out and tells Mr. Gilani in 2016 the kind of words that are being used, we don't know who to trust. We don't know who to trust, sir. And this is the solution that looks like it. Maruf Raza.
Except RSS PDP government.
Right, Mr. Bhim Singh.
PDP and RSS government has been rejected by the people.
Anand, you'll have to tone down the volume of Mr. Bhim Singh.
Right. We will. Mr. Bhim Singh, sir, you are on a panel which has 6 members. Request you to allow the others to speak to Mr. Bhim Singh. Yes, Maruf Raza.
But you have called me, then I thought.
Yes, Maruf Raza.
Give me 1 minute.
Well, I'm going to bring down the volume of Mr. Bhim Singh with due respect to him because I don't think he's hearing us. Yes, Maruf.
Is not shutting up. How can I speak?
Yes, Maruf, go ahead. Yeah, he's listening.
Just cut his volume off. Yeah,
He's listening. Go ahead.
Maruf.
See, there are 3 or 4 points that we need to understand. There are 3 or 4 points that we need to understand. The first is the Honorable Supreme Court, what it has said is very much in order, and it has also been echoed by Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti just a few days earlier than the Honorable Supreme Court, that we cannot have stone pelting and firing and then look for dialogue. So the political establishment is in line, at least in and what they have said with what the Honorable Supreme Court has said, which is very logical. But the central point that, as Mr. Bhatt had brought out, that go back to the agreement of 1952. Let me remind Mr. Bhatt of the Honorable Sheikh Abdullah's statement to the Constituent Assembly of J&K on 11th of August 1952, in which he said that the Supreme Court of India will take over the place of the Advisory Council of the Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir, and the Supreme Court of India will be supreme in all jurisdictional and in political direction that it will set for the state of Jammu and Kashmir. So what point you had made, Anand, Sheikh Abdullah made this point many years ago.
Yes.
That the Supreme Court of India decides how the ball will roll in Jammu and Kashmir. That's the first point. The second point is the Supreme Court has today ordered the J&K Bar Association that if you are advocating for comprehensive dialogue which is uninterrupted, then you get the stakeholders to come onto the dialogue table. It is not the responsibility of the government of India. If they are doing wakalat for them, then they must go out and get them. Where the Bar Association has now said their writ doesn't run that far, they cannot guarantee that. So therefore, those who are championing the cause of the people who should be doing dialogue, they themselves are not sure if they can get them onto the table. Now, Mr. Bhatt's point that all the people of Jammu and Kashmir should be spoken to. Now, I want to ask him a question. If all the people are to be spoken to, then why have an elected government in Jammu and Kashmir?
Absolutely.
Then let the people run the state of Jammu and Kashmir through advice to the governor and vice versa. Why are we having elected people? The elected representative is meant to speak for the people.
Yes, Maru, what a waste of time. Maru, what a waste of time, effort and people who had the courage to come out and vote at that time in that situation. What a letdown for those voters of Jammu and Kashmir, where the elected government now today will sit and say, we must go back to the same people and have a conversation. Then why are you there elected in the first place? What are you doing? What are you doing, Nizamuddin Bhatt? Why is your chief minister, your party chief, not in sync with what the rest of the establishment is saying? Why is she saying one thing today and the other tomorrow? Do you want to have dialogue or not? Because your ally BJP, who is also in power in the center, says we can't have dialogue with people who want to separate. We can't have dialogue with people who have the loyalties to Pakistan, and we will not have dialogue with people who indulge in violence. Then where are you? And why are you still in alliance with the BJP, Mr. Bhatt?
You can't impose your views while
I am not. I just asked you 5 questions.
Marouf has rightly said there is an elected government. Listen to me. He has rightly said there is an elected government. Yes, there is an elected government. It is this elected government which has mentioned in agenda of alliance that we will have a comprehensive dialogue with all the stakeholders. So beyond government,
all the legitimate stakeholders or all the stakeholders? Let me get some clarity there, because when that agreement between you two parties happened, there was no clarity on all stakeholders or all legitimate stakeholders. Let's get this clear, please.
Keep our promise.
You have to let others speak here.
On all stakeholders, on all legitimate stakeholders.
May I please
respect our promises made to the electorate.
Tanvi.
One minute, Marouf, because I want to get this clear, and we have the PDP and the BJP both here. GVL Narasimha Rao, as far as I understand, GVL, the stand is that we are ready to talk to the legitimate stakeholders.
This is not PDP BJP issue.
You just said, you just spoke about an agreement that is between you two when you struck the alliance. So please tell us, why are you singing different tunes? GVL, what do you want to clarify on that, please?
Tanvi, yes,
we can have areas of difference.
The common agenda, the agenda of governance clearly mentions that we are that the government will have a dialogue with stakeholders in Kashmir. But stakeholders in Kashmir will include all those who have confidence in the government and who want to discuss within the framework of the constitution. You cannot have agents of Pakistan sitting in Kashmir wanting to have a dialogue with us.
GVL Narasimha Rao.
Let them say they are not agents.
GVL Narasimha Rao.
Working within the
GVL Narasimha Rao.
We are your partners. We are stakeholders.
GVL Narasimha Rao. GVL Narasimha Rao. GVL Narasimha Rao. Ever since, right from day one, the voices that we have heard from the PDP have not reposed confidence, and I don't know why you have not been able to see that. The first day itself, you had the late Mr. Mufti come out and thank the separatists on the floor of the Jammu and Kashmir National Assembly when he was making his speech. Now from there it started. After that, it's been a downward trend. When mainstream parties are practicing soft separatism, sir, we have made our case very clear here. Last night on the Newshour and over the past few days on the Newshour, and we have been making one aspect very clear. It is no longer about Azadi in Jammu and Kashmir. And this Azadi League does not believe in the idea of India, so why are we entertaining them? Why are these mainstream parties batting for them? If Farooq Abdullah is making noises, Mehbooba Mufti is also making the same noises. And why are you falling to that, sir? Why is anybody falling to that? Because there is a straightforward, there is a direct solution for this. There is a solution for this, which you have to show the political will and intent to do it. Because this pelter terrorism has to stop. So where in the world will these people who are pelting stones at our forces have the freedom to do that? Do they respect the democracy and the strength of India? So this is the strength of India, that these people can have the courage and the ability and even think that they can get away pelting stones in broad daylight at soldiers, those who are wearing the idea of India on them, those who symbolize what India means to the people of this country. They don't respect democracy, sir. They don't understand democracy, sir. And if they don't understand democracy, they don't deserve the kind of empathy that we are trying to show them, because they don't understand and they don't want to understand. That's the point I'm trying to make, GVL. That's the point I'm trying to make. Maruf Raza, coming back to you before I go across to Aga Rula and Sushil Pandit and Alimuddin Khan. Sorry, GVL. Yes, GVL. Quickly.
It was an alliance of compulsion. What choice did the country have?
Sir, now you have the choice to take it forward.
Now, GVL.
If it was an alliance of compulsion, sir, you should have had the iron will to show tell them that soft separatism, mainstream parties peddling separatism will not be tolerated. Sir, there has to be a limit, there has to be a line that has to be drawn, where when you have a Farooq Abdullah, now he's won an election, he's contesting an election, and in there and the election speeches he's saying stone pelters are nationalists and we are tolerating it. That is the strength of India, sir, but that strength should not be used as a weakness. They should not think that we are allowing them to get away with this. It cannot be allowed. Maruf Raza, sir, coming back to you.
Anand, there is no question of having any discussion with forces which are working at the bidding of Pakistan. There is no question of
having then we should not engage with the National Conference. We should not engage with the PDP, because they are all backing these people. Sir, they are all backing these people. So please tell me, what do we do, sir? Other than some very strong, drastic political step, which will have to be shown by some by the centre, by the Parliament, and by the Constitution, has to show the political will has to be shown to put this to an end for once and for all. Because this 20% of the valley is spoiling, is doing a great disservice to the remaining 80% of Jammu and Kashmir. I am making no bones about this, sir. Tonight, I am saying this 20% of the valley is taking away the hard work and the faith that 80% of Jammu and Kashmir has reposed in India. For them, you're taking away the idea of India for them, because you are trying to work for these 20%, and these are people who are happy playing politics between these two so that they can come into the limelight. PDP and the NC stand guilty of that. Maruf Raza, coming back to you, and then we'll go to Aga Rula. Yes, Maruf Raza.
Anand, I was making a very important point when Tanvi interjected, and that's the point Mr. Narasimha Rao also made. The point I'm trying to make is that this alliance, which Mr. Rao has now conceded was an alliance of compulsion, is on borrowed time. It is on borrowed time because the PDP has made its intention clear after being elected, and prior to that, their track record, not just their track record, but even the BJP-led government of Vajpayee ji, which is often being quoted now by Mehbooba Mufti as the benchmark on how Kashmir should have been dealt with, also engaged at that time with separatists, and people like Saeed Ali Shah Jilani, as far as public memory stands, ever since he stopped contesting elections, have made it very clear that there's no place for Kashmir in the Union of India because India is not a Muslim country. And likewise, his entire hardline group of followers in the separatist leadership. Whereas Sheikh Abdullah and others at least had made that point very clear, that the Kashmiris had no future with Pakistan. Now the problem is that in Kashmir, over a period of time, because of political convenience, because of trying to form a government and show to the country that we have a government in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, we have conceded space and allowed the militants and the hardliners to gain high ground. That's for one of the reasons why we have not taken a harsh stand in sorting things out at the political level. The security forces, for God's sake, can only contain the situation. They cannot provide a political solution. The political leadership, I'm sorry to say, whatever the defense of the PDP and the BJP, are bereft of ideas. They are bankrupt, and that's why they're not coming up with any ideas. If you had any ideas, then sort the damn problem out. Why are you letting it fester? As long as you let it fester, innocent should get killed. Because if you throw a stone on a soldier, he will shoot you back. He's trained to do that. You don't want the army out there, you pull the army out and Kashmir will go away from Indian Union in a jiffy. We saw it in 47, we saw it in 65, we've seen it since 1989. So let's not delude ourselves. Stabilize the situation, and the only stability has to come from the political leadership. If they cannot lead, they should go back into the backbenches and not waste the country's time and not waste precious human lives.
And Maruf, just want to add that that message also needs to go specifically to the netas in the valley. Because the centre can sit and say what they want to do and take those hard decisions. But if their allies in the state or if their rivals in the state are not going to allow that to pass through, then it's a problem. So let's go across to the other party which is here from the valley. And Mr. Ruhollah. Now, you must have gone through what the Supreme Court has said. What do you have to say? Are you still going to have conversations with people who are instigating this violence? Do you still want to have conversations with people who have allowed this kind of violence to continue in the valley for almost a year now?
With all due respect to the observations made by the Honorable Supreme Court, I would like to suggest that the observation today made by the Supreme Court is not in sync with what should be the practical approach towards Jammu and Kashmir issue. See, Kashmir is burning because it's a political issue and it needs to be addressed politically.
So what is the political solution?
The observations made by the Supreme... We need to find a political solution. We need to start a dialogue. We need to engage with the people of Kashmir. We need to initiate somewhere. We need to with every Kashmiri, with every section of the society.
Which section of Kashmir?
With every opinion in the
section of Kashmir, Aga Ruhollah, are you talking? Sir, we would like to engage with those people who believe in the idea of India. Those who respect the constitution and those who believe in national integration. The rest who want to form an Islamic state, the rest who want to see the rule of Islam, and there's the rest who want to align themselves with Pakistan. It's not on Indian soil, Aga Ruhollah.
When it comes to addressing, you behave arrogant. The Union of India behaves arrogant.
Nobody is behaving arrogant, Aga Ruhollah.
So
it is the hypocrisy of Mr. Farooq Abdullah that stands exposed. What did he say? Do you agree that stone pelters are nationalists?
For you,
वो कौन से वतन के लिए पत्थर फेंक रहे हैं सर? कौन से वतन के लिए पत्थर फेंक रहे हैं? क्योंकि वतन के लिए वो पत्थर नहीं फेंकते. कौन से वतन के लिए आप पत्थर फेंक रहे हैं?
We'll be raising the issue.
No. This entire concept of Azadi gets tossed out of the window. So if you are peddling soft separatism, sir, we will not tolerate you because that is also as equally dangerous.
That was in a response to the Chief Minister and...
No, response to which is some people...
in what way?
Using opportunities like this seemingly to embarrass the government but actually putting the lives of innocent people at risk. This is what Umar Abdullah told Syed Ali when he held Syed Ali Shah Gilani responsible for pelting in 2010. And this time around, what does Mr. Farooq Abdullah say?
Not for money. You need to understand that.
He says, we are also standing with you. 2016, Farooq Abdullah says, we are also standing with you for this. We are not your enemies. We have also struggled. We have also given our lives to this. So today I tell you, the Hurriyat from this sacred place, go ahead and we are with you till the time your steps are on the right path and you take people towards that path. So pelting stones are steps to the right path.
Has been pushed to the walls. You have pushed...
Okay, where were they? Where were they? On what pedestal were they in 2010?
You are presenting.
Mr. Ruhollah, on what pedestal were they if not pushed to the wall in 2010 that you had and your party chief had different views about them then now? In 2010, you had, like Anand just read out, had different things to say about the same people.
If you remember, and be honest, if you remember,
when there was violence on the streets, when people were pelting stones, when there was violence on the streets and people were pelting stones, when again they were again your rivals at that time, those political parties kept speaking about dialogue. What did you have to say about the Gilanis of the state? What did you have to say about the Gilanis of the state in 2010, 11, 12 when your party was in power? Please tell me.
We are constant on our stand.
You are not constant, Aga Ruhollah.
Can I read it out to you?
Because your own leader is on record to say... Your own leader is on record to say... He's told the Hurriyat... No, he's told the Hurriyat, you lead, we will follow you. He has told the Hurriyat on record, you lead, we will follow you. Now tell me, to our panelists, to the country today... Who are you going to speak to? Because this is what when I said mainstream subversion is on. Sushil Pandit, sir, this is what is on. And right now, this entire unrest is not, people are not disillusioned. There is just this hawa which has been created because the BJP is in power in the center. What they are doing, they are fanning the flames by saying, look, BJP and RSS are in the center. Look, an RSS-backed BJP is in the center. Look, they are out to get you. Look, Islam is under threat. Look, if you have the dreams of making Kashmir an Islamist state, you have to fight today. This is the venom that's being spread.
Only because
and they are saying political solution.
Like an
what humbug is
RSS.
This is the lie that they are perpetrating. And when we catch out their lie, then they get caught out. They want to enjoy the state's privileges. They want to get the crores out of the center. They want to divert the money for their own personal gains. And then they want to turn around and say, let's work against India. Jao 4-5 patthar phek ke aao. This is what their polity is doing. And these are the mainstream politicians in Jammu and Kashmir today, sir. So who are you going to engage with? Because none of them, kisi ka iman seedha ye nahi hai. Nobody.
Anand, you've come to me after 37 minutes of this debate, so kindly bear with me for a few minutes, please. First and foremost, I'd like to make a very interesting observation. You had grand old Mr. Bhim Singh, who spent almost 5 decades in the politics of Jammu and Kashmir, who's never fought a single election on the issue of repealing Article 370, is today categorically demanding its repeal. And you have on the panel another party called BJP, whose calling card was to remove Article 370. They have given it in writing that they will not touch any constitutional provision which provides special status to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. This is the paradox of today. And when you say that this coalition was out of compulsion, you must understand what this compulsion has driven BJP to do. It has not only accepted to talk to likes of Hurriyat, who do not believe in Indian constitution, it reversed its foreign policy and committed to talk to Pakistan. In fact, it preempted by starting talks with Pakistan.
So
the point is today...
I don't think Kashmir was ever on the table for talks with Pakistan, Sushil Pandit. So, I mean, let's not
Of course, Agenda for Alliance provides for it.
No.
Agenda for Alliance says it categorically.
The idea was only friendly
I know Agenda for Alliance, backside front, Tanvi. I can read it out to you.
Okay, go ahead, make your point, and then GVL can respond to that.
Yes, let me make my point. Yeah. And what the National Conference spokesperson said, that this is an RSS-led agenda. In fact, BJP tried preempting this mistake or confusion in the minds of the voters in the valley by giving in so much so that it is never ever alleged that BJP is trying to drive its own agenda. It shed all important markers of its identity in order to get into this coalition. Now let me come to the crux of the issue, and Mr. Nizamuddin Bhatt, who's relatively lot more reasonable voice from the state of Jammu and Kashmir, very candidly admitted that there have been certain extra constitutional devices with respect to the state of Jammu and Kashmir which need to be honored, as in the Delhi Agreement of 1952. Sir, in a constitutional democracy, such extra constitutional arrangements stand for nothing. You knew that in 1952, when you are dealing with a government which works on the decisions of the cabinet, it cannot be two individuals deciding in private as to what this country will do vis-a-vis the state of Jammu and Kashmir. These agreements hold no water, sir. This is not a formal decision. Just as an assurance on a radio broadcast that I will hold plebiscite is not a cast iron guarantee that a nation or a sovereign nation does, the nation that is governed by its parliament, by its cabinet, by a certain procedure. And of all the people, you must know.
Sushil Pandit.
The crux of the matter today is that in Kashmir, a line has been drawn and a contest has been imposed. This contest is between the secular democracy for which India stands and an Islamist jihad for which the separatists stand. There is no meeting point. And I've heard, I've heard Mr. Nizamuddin Bhatt.
That's why
I've heard Mr. Nizamuddin Bhatt in the past, in the rare moments of candor, he says there is no room for any solution. We just need to manage the state. He has been saying this quite often.
All right, let's go across to GVL. He wanted to make
while we swing from one extreme
and
to the other,
thank you for patiently waiting by coming to you, sir, in just 30 seconds. Let us just allow that one response from GVL Narasimha Rao on what Sushil Pandit has said.
To make it clear.
No, Tanvi, I think it's wrong for anyone to allege that the BJP has made any kind of compromise. There is no compromise whatsoever. But after a state assembly election where people of Jammu and Kashmir participated with such enthusiasm, we had to give democratically elected government a chance.
Agreed.
Which other way could a government have been formed in Jammu and Kashmir?
Agreed, but GVL.
Tell me, is there any other way? So
you don't even have to answer it honestly, GVL. Is it working anymore today now? I agree with you. At that point of time, there was no other way. There was a fractured mandate. You had to form a government, and that's fine. And you agreed, you probably started off on a hopeful note, GVL, but just you don't even have to answer it. Think about it. Is it working anymore? Is it working anymore? Are you two even on the same page anymore? Can you get PDP? Can you get PDP, GVL Narasimha Rao, to implement what you want to do in the state?
Interest is supreme.
No, if interest is supreme, GVL Narasimha Rao.
For us, the national interest is
if the interest is supreme, GVL Narasimha Rao. My point is, GVL Narasimha Rao
will guide the BJP's thinking.
Sir, with due respect, you gave democracy a chance, but today democracy is in danger in Jammu and Kashmir because it is being run roughshod with a Wahhabist, theocracy-driven, ideology-driven lot there, who are busy polluting minds and corrupting minds. And if you have your partner still wanting to engage with those who are spreading this venom, sir, then I have serious doubts. Because things are going from bad to worse. And people are getting disillusioned. And what is happening is you are robbing the remaining 80% of Jammu and Kashmir a fair chance, a shot at democracy, because they came out in larger numbers to vote in confidence, sir. That is what I am trying to make, the point I am trying to make. Alimuddin Khan, thank you for your patience. Sir, there is only one way to halt this Pelter terror. One, we expose all the mainstream parties for the soft separatism and the kind of political game they've been peddling. Let them come out and openly state that no stone pelter has their backing or their encouragement. They have to come out and say that. And if they don't say that, sir, then they are not working in alignment with the constitution that is India, the idea that is India. Straightforward.
Anand ji, this whole chaos is the outcome of this compulsion marriage of the BJP and PDP. To bloom a flower, bud has to die. They have to dismiss this government. They have to impose president rule in this state. Number one. Number two, this is no more about the autonomy now or greater autonomy now. It is about the Pakistan army is Islamically radicalized, and they are imposing their radicalization in Kashmir. The Wahhabism is coming. Wahhabism coming into the Kashmir. It is now or never.
आपको क्या लगता है क्या करना चाहिए? अलीमुद्दीन खान, अलीमुद्दीन खान, आप बताइए, should there be, is the current government in control there? Is it time for governor's rule or president's rule? Is it time for seriously considering abrogation of Article 370? Is it time to go back and visit that Article 35A under which this entire act has been was promulgated, the orders of the president between 1950 and 1970? Should there be an exception made to what was agreed in 1952, as Sushil Pandit said, did not even have the ratification of the cabinet? Should we just do away with it, completely integrate Kashmir and isolate this 20% and tell them you're not getting a single dime from us? You have looted this country enough, filled your pockets enough, played your politics enough.
Anand ji, there is a lack of political will. Time has come. We are strong enough nation. We don't depend on any other country. We should bomb this Article 370 right away, and we should impose president rule in the country as soon as possible and bomb this Article 370.
Not in the country, in Jammu and Kashmir.
Article 370 is a thrown in our head.
In Jammu and Kashmir, you meant.
Kashmir, of course. Sorry, Jammu and Kashmir. Please bomb this Article 370. That's what I am saying. Abolish it right away. and impose trade and rule in Jammu Kashmir. That is the only solution.
Okay,
you don't need to talk the terrorists.
We have
terrorists.
to bring
They are
about
funded
some
by
consensus,
Pakistan.
Anand, on this debate. But we hope this is the message that actually gets heard on the platforms and gets heard by the people who really need to take this call. Now, we need to start wrapping up this debate. But this is the message. Honestly, I think this message that has come from the Supreme Court as an observation was not just to the Jammu and Kashmir Bar Association. It is effectively to every political party that has a stake in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. And this is the message for them. It's a tough message, but please try and understand. Think about it. This is what the Jammu and Kashmir Bar Association said. The centre has stopped talking to the people of Kashmir. The people want uninterrupted, unconditional and sincere dialogue. To which, this is what the Supreme Court said. Both sides need to take 2 steps back and address core issues. You cannot clap with both hands. If you keep throwing stones and close schools, how will talks work out? You first talk, but if you're suggesting secession, nothing will happen. Talks should be within the framework of the Constitution. Chief Justice Kehar, these are his words that political parties at the centre and in the state must take note of and understand, because the situation in Jammu and Kashmir tonight is extremely grave, ladies and gentlemen, and a tough message has to go across and tough steps now have to be taken. On that note, we will wrap up this debate, but the message is loud and clear. Action now to halt Pelter terror. Thank you.
The News Hour at 10 will be